All right. Well, I'm really excited today. I have a special guest. This is Tyler Jeske. Did I say your last name
Yep,
correctly, Tyler?
that is
Okay.
correct.
Excellent. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for bringing me on. I'm excited.
Sure. Yeah. So before we get into our questions, please share a little about yourself.
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Tyler. I've been in the short-term rental space actually for about 3 years now. Started in November of 2021, was actually working the work from home life after we graduated. Me and my cousin were really bored with our jobs at that point. So we started doing some YouTube videos and just learning a lot more about like real estate, watching the Real Estate Robinsons, Rob Built, Michael Elefante, and we came across a couple of videos of them, having Airbnbs in the Smoky Mountains. So we just started deep diving it, doing some Zillow looking at cabins out there, and um, ended up purchasing, a cabin out there, and then we scaled it up to three. So it's been a
Excellent.
really awesome process. It's love the Smoky Mountains. I don't know if anyone else out there is in that market right now. There's a lot of great tax incentives. Actually, over 11 million visitors per year that go to the Smoky Mountains. So it's a great market. It's definitely getting expensive. Hence
Yes.
why we we actually recently did flip a cabin out there and now are building tree houses. So super exciting.
Oh,
Building tree houses for the last year. Um,
wow. Mhm.
there's been a lot of hurdles and permits to get through with with doing that, but in the end, I think these tree houses are going to be incredible and they're going to be something unique like no one really has ever seen in the Smokies, just because everything there is so cookie cutter. Every cabin is the same, every layout is the same. So we really wanted to be unique, you
Yeah.
know, kind of go with the Cribs mindset of like the more unique you are, the more bold you are, the better you will do, in this very oversaturated short-term rental market. So super excited. We've got a lot of cool amenities. Like we actually created an old converted grain bin silo into an
Oh,
awning, like on a little creek down by the land that we have. And then we're doing some tree nets that are going to be connected to the deck where people can lay on and stargaze, kind of
oh,
just
wow.
unique things that not a lot of people do out there. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way to succeed in today's market is to be different, to be bold. And that's the mindset that we took with this one. A lot of our other cabins are, they're not cookie cutter, but they are more standard.
Uh-huh.
So that's the way to get revenue in today's market from what I've seen and what I've talked to with people and then learning a lot from STR Cribs so far.
hmm Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think you said it so well. With so much saturation, you have to be different. People want an experience and they don't want something just regular. They could stay home for a staycation for that. So,
100%. And there's
yeah,
just so many rentals out there where people just think they can get away with like buying the home, using the furniture they have already, and that it's going to rent and they're going to make money, especially with today's
yeah,
interest rates.
yeah.
It's going to be real hard to cash flow without putting the time and investment in upfront, to
Right,
be different. And,
right.
why are people going to choose your average home with, old mom and pop furniture versus the ones who have, done the work to be that experience like you had mentioned.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So I saw online some of the outdoor work that STR Cribs does, and I really thought that was so cool, so Instagrammable. That's one of
Oh
my
yeah.
my things is I feel like if you can make it Instagrammable, unique and memorable and a little different, you're just way ahead of the curve as far as getting, from those initial clicks on your listing photos. So can you tell me about some of the outdoor work that STR Cribs does? Because I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's our outdoor work definitely is what drew me in, honestly, to working here.
Okay.
Just a little background on myself and Cribs. We've actually done a couple hundred projects all across the US. We do have our specific markets that we like to work in. I know you had
Mhm.
mentioned I think you saw some of our Arizona work and maybe some of our Florida work. Um, but yeah, I think it just goes to show the Instagrammable moments are super important. Pickleball
Yeah.
has been going crazy, so we've been doing so many pickleball courts, the outdoor bowling, you know,
Yeah.
awesome fire pits, the murals in the backyard, all of that, coming together is it's another way to, do two, three, 4x, the revenue that your competitors are doing.
Yes,
I can share my
definitely.
screen and kind of go through, how the process would work and like,
Okay.
show you one of our better properties and, maybe
Okay.
inspire some people out there to, take that next step and, do something really cool with their backyard.
Yeah, I would love to see that. And
Okay.
while you're pulling it up for any of those who are listening, we do have our YouTube channel that shows the video version of this podcast, so you can see what Tyler's talking about.
Perfect. So just kind of the process and what we do. This is one that we're really proud of, obviously in Florida. So basically, the way the process works, if someone is wanting to work with us or get a little bit of understanding, how our process works, basically, they'll meet with me or Mark, our head of sales, and we'll talk them through, what ideas we think should be implemented if depending on what their budget is, and then we'll kind of get
Right.
an understanding of what amenities they want. And
Mhm.
then, if they are wanting to move forward, basically we'll do a backyard overlay, kind of give them a design and like draw out things based on, an eagle eye view, basically. So this was
Mhm.
canvas before they still had the pool.
Mhm.
Uh, and then, yeah, from there, we'll give them the ideas, confirm with the owner, if that is something they want to do, go through the budget, go through general pricing, averages, minimums, maximums. Generally, we're
Mhm.
paying about 23,000 to 35,000, depending on the area, depending on leveling for a pickleball court. We've
Okay.
this one here, we just did a basketball court, but most of the properties now we're doing a pickleball slash basketball court that can be used for both, to kind of get the full
Yeah.
experience and what everyone wants.
Sure. Yeah. Very
Um,
good.
and
Very
then,
nice.
the mini golf, we got the fire pit, like you had mentioned, the Instagrammable murals and paint looks super nice out here. But
Hmm.
generally, I would say something like this backyard, we can kind of go through some more pictures here.
Okay.
Would be about 50 to 65,000.
Hmm. Okay.
Nice fire pit, frisbee golf, mini golf, more Instagrammable moments. I mean,
Hmm.
when you're going into these Florida markets, there's maybe a few people that have backyards like this. And, if I'm a vacationer,
Yeah,
this is the place I'm going to choose. And with this,
absolutely.
you can charge an absolute premium compared to your competitors. And
Hmm. Hmm. And how do you find that bookings are? Do bookings actually go up?
yeah, we do have a lot of case studies. It's showing, some of our clients' properties and like what the averages are in the area, and
Uh-huh.
what cap rates would be versus when we do cribitize a property.
Hmm.
And, we've seen absolutely tremendous results of people sometimes 2xing, 3xing, maybe even a 4x of what people are doing, in the area for revenue.
Sure, right. And if people were to just know that as they are updating a property, they can just factor in into their budget that they are going to do something really interesting in the backyard. And it's, I have this saying that bad decorating costs as much as good decorating. So you can
Yep.
pretty much you can do it well from the beginning, or you can try to catch up bit by bit later. Anyway, it just makes a difference to do it well, I think, from the beginning. And
100%. And I think with the mindset should be in this market, especially obviously because it's so oversaturated, is like you have to have it put into your budget with this home of being able to do these things, whether it's interior or if you have space in the backyard, putting some money into it, even just with a few of these amenities or
right.
just something to make you stand out, I think is super important with today's mindset.
Yes, I agree. So if somebody has a small backyard, what would you recommend for them?
It's really dependent on the market.
Uh,
You've got mountain properties that, if it's a small yard, you can go with, the essentials. A barrel's like maybe not a barrel sauna is an essential, but a hot tub and a fire pit, I would
Yeah.
say are the general standard amenities for like my market, the Smoky Mountains, and say maybe the Poconos. So hang some
Mhm.
string lights, that's a cheap way to make it look real nice. And then maybe even a barrel sauna if you have the money. And then if you have a little bit more of a budget, you can do some more of those things like the outdoor bowling, which we've seen become super popular, or just some outdoor games like Giant Jenga, or we've been having a lot of people do the Giant Connect Four. Uh,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then maybe an outdoor bar, if you have the space on the deck or an outdoor
Mm-hmm.
kitchen. And then, you've got
Right.
other markets in, say in Florida, you can build a lot of the homes is basically, I feel like necessity to have a pool, but it is super expensive to build a pool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so maybe in the Florida markets, if you have space, a pickleball court could be really nice. Um, just some outdoor games. We've done actually outdoor chess, leveling a nice concrete pad and having a outdoor chess board. Uh,
Wow. That's
it's
so cool.
it's really dependent on the market and how much space
Okay.
you have and what budget you have. But there's
Mm-hmm.
so many ideas and so many things that we've done um, that could really thrive in every market. So
Mm-hmm. Good. Yes. I can see how that is definitely the case. Do you use like materials that are just really good for lots of different weather patterns? They wear pretty well.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. I mean, materials are pretty dependent on, the area as well. Mountainous areas are gonna have to worry about a lot more rain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then obviously sometimes, with if you have trees, you're gonna have to have your cleaners go out there and make sure they're getting the leaves every time a clean happens. And then in the Arizona or Florida markets where it's really hot and the sun's gonna be beating down on it, we want to make sure the concrete pads are cured properly and make sure we take that full 3 weeks to let the concrete cure and then do a very good sun resistant paint for those pickleball courts.
Yeah.
Uh, I've seen a video recently. I don't know if you follow Rob Built at all. He did some really cool pickleball courts in Scottsdale, and he went with like a really nice pink paint, I think it was, but it wasn't like sun resistant at all. And basically, the whole court was ruined within a month. So that is something
Right.
that we really make sure to take into account of like the market conditions and how the weather is, and making sure we make it look really nice, but also make sure that it's going to last you for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's excellent. That's what you can get when you go with a pro, I think. Um, you get
100%. We've done so many of these backyards, so we've definitely got the experience down.
uh-huh, excellent. So, are there any common misunderstandings about how important it is to have a good outdoor space?
Um, I think maybe a common misunderstanding is that you can spend 5 to 10,000 and make it an amazing backyard. Like a lot of these backyards, at minimum they're gonna take 30, 40, 50,000. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I think just having the mindset of like like we talked about before, really budgeting these things in before, talking with someone before you
Mm-hmm.
actually go under contract with the house if you do have plans to work with your backyard. But like I
Okay.
said, there are always small things you can do to, spruce up the backyard, smaller, cheaper things, just, the cornhole, the Connect Fours, the string lights, there are those things. But if you really want to make the investment, you have to, have the understanding that it's going to be a pretty penny,
Mm-hmm.
to spend on these all out backyards.
Mm-hmm. Right. But if you do want to go into those upper, charging two or three times more, that's pretty much what it takes. You have to have
Yep,
something
that is
pretty
what it takes.
extraordinary. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Good to know. So, what do you enjoy most about working with STR Cribs and seeing these transformations?
Yeah, honestly, just seeing the work that we do and, also like, seeing the work, seeing the transformations, like seeing the creativity of our designers, they're all just absolutely incredible. And then,
Mm-hmm.
what our work does and how it's impacting people and, changing their lives in terms of like bringing in the revenue that they've always dreamed for, and like
Yeah.
actually killing it as a short-term rental. Obviously, there's a lot of other factors that go into it, but we're
Mm-hmm.
setting these people up to absolutely thrive, in
Mm-hmm.
their market and become, a
Yeah.
top performer.
Yes. Great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
so there's a question I like to ask of all my guests, and that is, what do you do when you feel stuck in your line of work?
It's a great question. What do I do when I feel stuck in my line of work? I think, yeah, for me, like when I feel stuck in my line of work, I've always turned to trying to find a mentor who's done what I want to do and learn from them.
Mhm.
I've got a great mentor in the real estate space, my uncle. He's
Mhm.
grown a portfolio that is just absolutely incredible, and like just talk to them, see what they've done, what they would do if they were in my, situation. And then also for me, YouTube has been just so helpful. I've learned almost everything I can, about the short-term rental space from a lot of those people like I had mentioned, the Real Estate Robinsons, Rob Bilt, Michael Elefante, and I've really gained a lot of inspiration from them. So I would say getting back to the drawing board, seeing what they're doing, getting inspiration from them, kind of taking some of their ideas and using that, but also using my creativity to kind of go in the direction that I want to. So I'd say, yeah, talking to mentors and, getting back to YouTube and seeing what I can do, based on what they've done.
Mhm. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, where can listeners learn more about you and about STR Cribs?
Yeah. So you can check out our website, strcribs.com. I can share my contact information too at the end of this call. You can just put that in the link. But yeah, our website, strcribs.com, and all of our information's on there. And then you can also follow me at LinkedIn. I make posts every day
Mhm.
about some of the work that we do, transformations, pictures, everything.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. It's so neat to hear about new, well, maybe not new for you, but it's new for a lot of people to hear about
Yeah,
these trends and what they can do and to be really creative. I think it's such an untapped element of what can happen in a person's marketing with their business. So,
100%. And
well, thank you again. And thank you all for listening today. I hope that you got inspired, and I will talk to you again next time.
yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
I hope you found this conversation inspiring. And remember, creating an amazing outdoor space can be accomplished, and it can make a big difference in your bottom line. If you have questions, Tyler's contact info will be in the show notes, and you can contact me through my website, VRDecor.co. That's VR as in vacation rental, decor.co. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to talking again next time.